Welcome back to the 10 Minutes Daily Cafe Chat. I'm Emily, and it is a chilly Wednesday, January 28th.
And I'm Lisa. Good morning, everyone. Emily, is it just me, or is everyone dragging a little bit this week?
It's the January blues, Lisa. The holiday excitement is long gone, and it's just cold and gray outside.
Seriously, I spent all night last just playing video games and dreaming of a beach vacation.
Well, if you like video games and beaches, we have some stories that might cheer you up today.
Ooh, tell me, what's on the menu?
First, we'll talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 and how it absolutely dominated the sales charts this past December.
I knew it was popular. Everyone on my feed was unboxing one.
Then, for those looking to escape the cold, some Las Vegas hotels are offering a very special deal for our Canadian friends.
A deal for Canadians? Does that mean I can finally afford that trip to Vegas?
We'll see about your budget, Lisa. And finally, a massive infrastructure update for Los Angeles that might finally make traffic bearable.
Traffic in LA? That sounds like a dream.
It's a big project. But before we get started, let's do our keyword quiz. Today's keyword is at par.
At par. Like when you're playing golf and you get the score you're supposed to?
That's one setting, but think about it in terms of money and value. I'll give you the answer at the end.
I'll be waiting. Now, what's our first story?
Let's start with our first story. If you've been trying to find a Nintendo Switch 2 in stores lately, you know it's been tough. The December numbers are finally in.
I'm guessing it sold well. It feels like every kid and adult I know got one for Christmas.
You're right. In December 2025 alone, the Switch 2 sold over 3.8 million units worldwide. It was the best-selling console of the month.
3.8 million in just 1 month? That is a lot of Mario Kart.
It is. And for comparison, the PlayStation 5 sold about 3.3 million units in the same period. So Nintendo actually beat Sony? That's impressive considering the PS5 is a powerhouse. It definitely is. Meanwhile, the Xbox Series X and S struggled quite a bit, only selling around 400,000 units. Ouch! Why do you think Nintendo's winning so clearly right now? I think it's the exclusive factor. You can only play Nintendo games on Nintendo hardware. Plus, the Switch 2 is still the new thing.
True. Everyone wants the latest gadget. How many have they sold in total now?
The lifetime sales have already passed 16 million units.
16 million? And it hasn't even been out that long.
Exactly. But there's a bit of a twist. Hardware sales overall are actually down compared to the peak years.
Wait, if Nintendo's doing so well, how are sales down?
Because the total market is shrinking slightly. People are holding on to their consoles longer, or they're spending less on multiple devices.
I guess that makes sense. With the economy being what it is, dropping $500 on a console is a big decision.
It is, but for many, the Switch 2 was clearly the must-have item that they saved up for.
I wonder if they'll be able to keep up this momentum for all of 2026.
That's the challenge. Nintendo needs to keep releasing those big titles to justify the hardware purchase.
Like a new Pokemon or Animal Crossing, those always drive massive sales.
Exactly. And they're also targeting older gamers who grew up with the original Nintendo, not just kids.
That's me. I'm a nostalgic gamer, even if my skills haven't improved since 3rd grade.
As long as you're having fun, that's what matters. Nintendo understands that emotion better than anyone.
Well, if they release a new Zelda, I'm sold. Take my money, Nintendo.
I think you're not the only one who feels that way, Lisa.
True, but I only have so much to spend. You mentioned something earlier about a special deal in Vegas?
I did, and it's perfect for anyone watching their budget. If you're our neighbor to the north in Canada, traveling to the U.S. has been expensive lately.
Oh, yeah, because of the exchange rate, right? The loonie isn't doing so great.
Exactly. The Canadian dollar is currently trading at about 72 cents US. That makes everything practically 30% more expensive for them.
That would definitely make me want to stay home.
Well, 3 hotels in Las Vegas, the Circa, the D, and Golden Gate, are trying to change that.
Are they giving out free rooms?
Close. They're offering an at-par deal specifically for Canadians.
At par? Like face value? Even if the actual market value is totally different?
You've got it. They're essentially erasing the currency gap and treating the Canadian dollar as being worth the exact same as the US dollar for your booking.
No way! So if a room is $100, a Canadian can pay $100 Canadian?
Precisely. Usually, that $100 room would cost them about 140 Canadian dollars.
That is a massive saving. How do they prove they're Canadian? Do they have to sing the national anthem?
No, they just have to show their Canadian passport at check-in.
That is such a smart marketing move. Las Vegas needs to fill those rooms, and Canadians love to visit.
Exactly. It's about honoring the connection with their biggest international market.
It's a great move because Canadians are actually the #1 international group visiting Vegas.
That's right. Without them, the downtown area where these 3 hotels are would be much quieter.
I love the vibe of downtown Vegas. It's got that old Vegas charm with all the neon.
It does. And with the money they save on the room, they can spend more on the amazing restaurants there.
Or on one of those giant circus-style drinks.
Let's stick to the food, Lisa. Does the deal apply to the casino, too? Can I win US dollars with Canadian money?
Wait, you were asking me? I wish.
No, I'll answer that. The at-par rate mostly applies to room rates and some food and beverage options. Gambling usually has its own currency rules.
Darn, I was ready to double my money just by walking in the door.
Nice try, Lisa. But for anyone in Canada listening, the deal runs through August 31st.
Plenty of time for a summer trip. I should call my friend in Toronto and see if she wants a travel buddy.
I think she'd be very popular with that at-par discount.
Definitely. Now what's our third story?
Finally, our third story is about a major change coming to the West Coast. If you've ever been to LA, you know the traffic is legendary.
Legendary? You mean it's a nightmare? I've spent hours on the 405 just to go 5 miles.
Well, there is finally a green light for a solution. The Sepulveda Transit Corridor project has been approved.
A rail line? Where exactly is it going?
It will connect the San Fernando Valley to the west side, including a very important stop at UCLA.
Oh, that's such a busy area. How long is the route?
It's about 14 miles. Currently, that drive can take over an hour during rush hours, sometimes more.
And how fast will the train be? Please tell me it's faster than my walking speed.
Much faster. They estimate the trip will take only 20 minutes from end to end.
20 minutes? That would change my entire life if I lived there. When does it open? Next year?
This is where I have to break your heart. While it was just approved, construction hasn't even started yet. It's not expected to open until the late 2030s.
Late 2030s? Emily, my Switch 2 will be a vintage collector's item by then.
Maybe, but just think, you'll probably be playing the Switch 10 on that 20-minute train ride.
The Switch 10? Okay, that is a future I can get behind. But still, over a decade feels like forever.
It does. And they expect it to carry over 120,000 riders every single day.
That's a lot of cars off the 405. I guess the next generation will thank us.
Definitely. It's also much better for the environment. Fewer cars idling in traffic means less pollution.
That's a good point, but imagine the construction noise for the next decade.
It will be disruptive, but they're using advanced boring machines to stay deep underground.
I hope those machines are quiet, and I hope they don't hit any buried treasure or, worse, a prehistoric monster.
Let's hope they stick to just dirt and rock, Lisa. But infrastructure like this is a long-term investment for a city that desperately needs it.
I'll try to stay patient. Maybe I'll just keep playing my Switch 2 while I wait in traffic for the next 10 years.
That sounds like a solid plan, Lisa.
I'll need it. So that's it for today.
That's right. So that covers our stories for this Wednesday. We talked about Nintendo's dominance in the console war,
Nintendo for the win.
the at-par deals for Canadians in Las Vegas, I'm still jealous of that exchange rate, and the future of transit in Los Angeles. Catch me on the train in 2038. Now let's answer our keyword quiz. The word was at par. You said it was about equal value, right? Exactly. At par means at face value or equal to the face value. Like how the Vegas hotels are treating the Canadian dollar as equal to the US dollar. Precisely. It's a common term in finance when a bond or stock sells at its original issue price. I think I'll use it next time I'm splitting a bill. Let's pay at par. That doesn't quite work, but I like the enthusiasm.
Thanks for joining us today. Please like and subscribe.
And hit that bell icon for daily updates. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.